Hockey is back, and thank God for it. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gore, and it's the end of September. You got the preseason just starting up. The regular season is right around the corner, and so I wanted to make this video today as kind of my first hockey video. I wanted to just do kind of a bullet point type deal where I just list off a couple of things that I'm personally looking forward to as the season gets started. As always, guys, give this video a like if you enjoy it. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about these and any other topic you might have about hockey. And of course, subscribe to my channel for more weekly content just like this. We'll be doing hockey as well as football and all the other stuff. It's not just a football channel here. So let's get started. Let's get right into it. I kind of want to start, so full disclosure, I am from New York. I am from the New York area, so we're going to kind of start with my team, and that would be the New York Rangers. Obviously, they've been a contending team the last few years, but they haven't quite gotten over the hump, and there are a few things that are preventing them from doing so. And as a result, we have a new head coach. Peter Laviolette steps in for Gerard Gallant. You know, he's known as kind of a win now, change the culture type deal, get instant success, and that's really what the Rangers need. The Rangers are still in win now mode. But I feel like the window could potentially be shutting. They have to capitalize here in a very tough Eastern Conference. So where am I at with this team? Aside from the coaching change, my biggest frustration with the Rangers for years has been this way. One of the things that they have to fix is they're just no good 5-on-5. They're really not a strong offensive team, even strength 5-on-5, despite all the talent they have. It's been a bit frustrating to watch. They have good special teams, and they're dangerous when they have the man advantage, but you've got to play with the puck more. You've got to play with the puck 5-on-5. You've got to create chances at even strength, which is where you spend the majority of your time playing hockey. They're too talented not to do that, and that is now the job of this new coaching staff headed by Peter Laviolette to get that out of them. So we'll see where it goes. I still think they're going to be a contending team this year. The roster is, to be fair, this is a roster that's mostly set. You're going to get Kreider, Zibanejad, and Panarin, and all those guys. Blake Wheeler does come in. I think that's a neat little addition. If you can, I know he's 37, but I think if you get a decent production out of him, I think that'll be a solid addition. The biggest question mark, though, for this team is Alexis Lafreniere and Kaapo Kakko. You took these guys number 1 and number 2 overall. They have to take a step at some point. Have they been objectively bad? No, but have they been objectively good? No. They have not played up to their potential and what they were supposed to be. And I think the Rangers' success overall as a team is starting to be tied to those two guys now. You know what you're going to get with the other guys, with the established starters. But if Lafreniere and Kakko do not take a step and become point producers this year, they're just going to be in the same spot. They're going to be a team that contends, but there are better teams above them that will capitalize on their lack of 5-on-5 production. So that's my outlook on the Rangers. It's Igor Shesterkin is Igor. He's going to play well. I'll be honest with you. I watched the Rangers are 2 preseason games in. I saw Jonathan Quick in game 1. I want to see more of Jonathan Quick, because if he's going to play like that, like he did against the Bruins, then I think we have a legitimate issue at the backup goalie spot. You are going to play your backup during the year. And Jonathan Quick basically looked like he didn't give a shit and he didn't want to be out there. So question marks there, but Igor's going to give you big numbers again, like he always does. Adam Fox is primed for a big year with Laviolette, the way he likes to use defensemen. So obviously, as a Ranger fan, I'll be watching every game and probably be ranting and raving throughout the year. So stay tuned for that. But the Rangers going to be a contending team in a loaded division, in a loaded conference. We'll see how it shakes out as we go along. So that's kind of my pros and cons with the Rangers. The second thing I'm looking forward to, keeping my eye on, is obviously the Boston Bruins. They go from, and I know things can change quickly in hockey, right? But man, oh man, I mean, they go from the highest of highs, basically being a machine last year, an unstoppable force, setting records, winning 60 plus, doing the whole thing, right? Looking like nobody was going to stand in their way. And then they get into the playoffs and they get this scrappy Florida team that doesn't go away. That is the gnat that they keep having to swat around, and they wind up losing in the first round. And then so you go from the highest high to the lowest low, and then all your veteran leadership leaves. They retire, they move on. You saw the emotion on the ice after Game 7. They lost a ton this offseason. And I don't care about the names that they brought back, that they, you could see, James Van Riemsdyk comes in and Lucic comes back. And Kevin Shattenkirk, let me be honest with you, Kevin Shattenkirk is subtraction by addition. I don't know why they signed him. They lost too much. It doesn't matter what they got back. It's going to be a changeover with the Bruins. So where do they stack up, right? The system is going to be good. They're going to play good defense, and they're, I still think they're in the comparatively weaker of the two divisions in the East, but I think this team might get off to a slow start just because of the sheer amount that they lost, and it's not just players, it's leadership, right? They lost a lot of veteran leadership in the locker room. It's going to take some time to get kind of acclimated and sussed out, basically. I mean, it's going to be a probably an odd feeling locker room for the Bruins players that have been there a while to not have guys like Bergeron and Krejci around. Now, to be fair, I'm objective with all this stuff. I am going to just slip in a non-objective point here. You can't give an asshole like Brad Marchand the captaincy. I'm sorry, you just can't. Like, with the shit he does on the ice, you just can't give him the C. But I digress. Where do the Bruins shake out? I think they're still going to be good. I still think they're going to be a playoff team. You can't expect anything near 60 wins again. But I think they're going to be still right there in the thick of things in the East playoff race. But temper your expectations a little bit. I think it's going to take a little while to get this team settled without the leadership there anymore. So that's point number 2 on the Boston Bruins. Number 3. So I decided to throw this team in here. I don't know how... John Davidson, right? So the Columbus Blue Jackets is going to be my next point here. And the reason I'm throwing them in is because of this guy on your screen, Mike Babcock, obviously, right? Because really, the way last year went for the Blue Jackets, there's really no reason I need to talk about them. They were a disaster. Injuries beat up. I mean, it happened right away at the beginning of the year last year. It snowballed. They had a bunch of guys miss a bunch of games. They were bad offensively, bad defensively. They were just awful, right? And so, in order to fix that, the brass decides, well, we're going to bring in an enforcer, a guy who could bring accountability, a no nonsense guy, and they hire Mike Babcock. Now, look, he'd been out of the league for a little while, and to be fair, he developed a reputation of not exactly handling his players very well, did he? Maybe he gave them a bunch of coach speak nonsense in the interview process. I don't know. We won't ever know. But to say he's this changed person and that he's learned and you have to learn from the players and blah, 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 blah. Obviously, that didn't happen because he kept up with his same old ways. It's basically borderline abusive ways. Complete mistreatment of the players. It's not the way you handle your business. It's not the way you handle human beings. Forget hockey for a second. And they had to, it got out and they had to cut the cord. So now the Blue Jackets, where do they go from here? Well, they don't have their head coach anymore, so they're going to have to, that's a big adjustment on the fly. This team's got talent. They have some talented players. Their first line looks solid. I don't know where they're going to get depth from. I don't know, and again, this shocked. Now, again, maybe the players are exhaling here because they got a taste of Mike Babcock and it wasn't any good. So maybe they're exhaling, but still, it's kind of a shock thing to do this close to the regular season, and so letting him go is the right decision, but boy, I think it's going to be another tough year for the Blue Jackets, but I would be interested, at least initially, seeing how this team reacts maybe there's a bit of a, okay, we can breathe now, and maybe we could just go out and play hockey. And maybe if they stay healthy, they have a better year. It would be nice for Blue Jackets fans. So just wanted to make mention of that a little bit. Mike Babcock, I don't want to see him in the game anymore. I've had enough. I've seen enough of this shit with him. So hopefully the Blue Jackets can recover. Next on my list, I wanted to try and find in this video, because like I say, things happen quickly in the game. So I wanted to kind of look around the landscape a little bit and find a team that, was on the outside of the playoffs, but could find their way in this year. And I settled on the Calgary Flames here. Do I feel strongly about the team as a whole? Not necessarily. I mean, there is some talent there. But when you fire Daryl Sutter, you add by subtracting. He had to go. They fell flat on their face last year. He's a mind-numbingly boring coach. It's painful. Obviously, the players started chirping, and then once that happens, you kind of have no choice. You've got to cut the cord. So they let him go. Now, Ryan Huska takes over as the head coach, and I don't know that he's ever been a head coach. I mean, he's certainly not been a head coach at the NHL level. So the big question mark around him. I know Mark Savard is on his staff now, so I think he's put together an okay, assistant, but he's the head man. So where does he go with this team? I think they went to the playoffs with him in year one, Daryl Sutter, and then it just fell apart last year. They did lose some guys, but I just think getting out from under Daryl Sutter's shadow might help this team. Just whoever's there, whoever's not, it's addition by subtraction. Getting him out of the building might just kind of help them. And I know Husk, I think, was an assistant for him, so you hopefully, not a lot of that rubbed off. I don't know. But I just kind of have a feeling. I feel like maybe Calgary, they didn't miss by much. The West is comparatively weaker than the East, for sure. So I think if you're looking for a team that might be able to take a little bit of a step and go from non-playoff to playoff, let's maybe take a look at the Calgary Flames this year. I know they have some issues with upcoming free agents like Noah Hannafin and all that. So this is the year to get it done. If they want to get into the playoffs, this is probably the year to get it done before they have to make some tough choices. So let's keep an eye on the Calgary Flames going into this season. And I guess it wouldn't be a first hockey video for me if I didn't put these guys at number 5. The old champs, the Vegas Golden Knights. See that big, beautiful trophy there? Well, it's in Vegas, and they get to defend it this year. In general, I'm super blown away with this team. The way they burst onto the scene as an expansion team, and it's one thing to do that for a year and catch everybody by surprise and then maybe fall off, but there's really been no fall off with this team. Sustained success, throughout their short history, and now they cap it off with a banner and a trophy, and the environment there has become a really cool place to watch and play a hockey game. So it's just really, really cool. I love the colors, right? I love the gold and the golden helmets and all that, and it's just it's pretty cool. So they are the champs, and they are largely an unchanged team from this past season. They didn't have a lot of turnover, which is a bit of an oddity for Stanley Cup winning teams. They're largely intact. I know Riley Smith got traded to Pittsburgh, and I think Aiden Hill, I think he signed the contract, so I think he'll probably be the starter. But hey, like I say, in a comparatively weak Western Conference, these guys are going to have just as much a shot to get back to the Stanley Cup Finals as anybody. Obviously, they've got the coaching, they've got the team, they've got the pedigree and the sustained success. Sorry. To get it done again. I like Jack Eichel, I do, and I like, I didn't like Bruce Cassidy as the coach of the Bruins, but I like him a little bit more here. He seems to have obviously found a lot of success. It was fun watching them in the playoffs. It's fun watching the hockey playoffs in general, anyway. But like I say, it's impressive. They have set the bar again for expansion teams, right? I don't know how many more expansion teams we're going to get. I hope we don't get too many, to be honest with you, but I hope we don't get any, really. But but boy, they have set the bar. I mean, it's impressive the way they've been able. It's from the top down organizationally, right? Their sustained success is to be applauded, and I think they're going to be a very much a contending team again this year. So that's kind of it. Rangers, Bruins, Blue Jackets, Flames as a sneaky team, maybe, and can the Golden Knights get back there and do it again? That's kind of what I'm looking forward to this hockey season, but I want to hear from you guys. You guys let me know what you think about any of this, what I've said here, or what else you're looking at this season. And I look forward to making more hockey videos each week and chatting with you guys. So like I say, give this video a like, subscribe to me for more of that, and I will see you guys in the next video.